uninitiate, it seems as if the white race is supreme. Once you get to the higher initiates, there is a different story, and Nimrod was worshipped as black or white. There is chaos created between the races, so you have the Ku Klux Klan, which is anti-black, and you have organizations which are equally anti-white. This is called dialectic thinking. Remember the Hegelian principle? You create friction between the races so that you can have synthesis in the end and bring about a new world order. So in order to unite the races, the best thing to do is to create chaos amongst the races until the pain of separation exceeds the pain of unity. You understand the Hegelian dialectic thinking? It's brilliant. It's sick, but it's brilliant. And it doesn't matter if you sacrifice hundreds of thousands of lives to achieve your objective, because the end justifies the means. It really is a terrible doctrine.
We think the price is worth it.
So in the Hegelian dialectic, you have the thesis, and then you have its antithesis. So you have something, and then its opposite, essentially. But then in the Hegelian dialectic, it doesn't stop there. Those don't just sit there opposed to each other. In the Hegelian dialectic, you merge the two, the thesis and the antithesis, and you achieve synthesis from that. It's like you take the two opposites, you combine them and merge them into one. And don't get me wrong here, this isn't like the yin-yang, where you have, the white side and the black side, and there's a little bit of the yin and the yang, there's a little bit of yang and the yin. No, what they're talking about is actually commingling all of it. They would take the white side and the black side and just completely amalgamate all of it into one, so that you would almost have like a gray circle, and that's all that would be left. They're not talking about the balancing of opposites. They're talking about taking opposites and making them into one new whole. So that's the difference between your traditional dualism and what they're teaching. And they call this the great work. Aleister Crowley taught this, and people that influenced him, all kinds of people in the occult have been teaching this for a long time. That essentially, and here's the big kicker, the thing that they won't tell you, they believe that when you finish this great work, and what the great work is combining and merging, synthesizing all opposites into one whole. And they believe that when you complete this great work, that you'll achieve apotheosis, that man will become God. And even that in and of itself is the same dualism that we were just talking about. God and man are complete opposites, and that's what they're trying to achieve with the great work. They're trying to merge the two and make them one.
Turn off your radio, please.
I'm doing research and following up on the Masonic aspect of the New World Order. And I agree with you when you say that this country is a Masonic republic, and I understand all of this. What I can understand is if these people are so after world domination, why would they give us a chance after this great Masonic experiment? Why wouldn't they just have it locked down 100 years ago?
Because it wasn't a chance. It was a sure thing. Our forefathers, if you read their writings, they knew more about human nature than any psychologist that lives on the face of the earth today. They knew we would give up our freedoms in exchange for our liberties and preserve the republic. They also gave us everything in the Constitution that we could use to destroy our own selves. They understood that human nature is such that if we can get something for nothing, and if we think it's for nothing, that's the way we're going to go.
Obama!
You got Obama phone?
Yes, everybody in Cleveland knows my minority got Obama phone. Keep Obama in president, He gave us a phone.
Give you a phone. How do you give you a phone?
You sign up if you're on full steps, you on Social Security, you got low income, you disability. Romney, he sucks. Hey!
President Trump's name will reportedly be printed on stimulus checks that the IRS is mailing to tens of millions of Americans amid the coronavirus pandemic. The president is not an authorized signer for the checks issued by the Treasury Department, but the Washington Post is reporting the checks will still be signed by Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, but the president's signature will also appear in the memo section. The checks are expected to be mailed out next week.
And that's exactly what has happened.
And so it was just sort of a hollow gesture, because they knew what the outcome would be.
Well, not only it wasn't a hollow gesture, they had to establish this country in order to give the common man a taste of freedom for the first time in the history of the world. This has never happened before. It was the catalyst that toppled the kings and queens from their thrones in Europe. It took away the power that opposed them. Number two, it was to prove to the common man that he could not rule himself. They knew that human nature, common man would through his human nature, his human foibles and failings, give up everything that they had given us, and then that would be the reason quoted to us in the New World Order why we cannot have those liberties or freedoms.
I see. And so actually this was set up as the power transference was taken away from the old the aristocrats.
That's right. And this country was the instrument which would bring into the world the New World Order, and it was all put into the Great Seal of the United States. If you know how to interpret the symbolism of the mysteries, it's all right there. Who they were, what they were about, and what they intended to bring about is right there in the Great Seal.
I see. Did you know that Albert Pike is buried in the walls of the House, the Temple in Washington, D.C.?
Yes.
Yeah. And also, what is the UN meditation room?
It is a place where those who understand the religion of the New World Order go to meditate and practice through symbology the religion right there in the United Nations.
Okay, Bill. Well, thank you very much, Bill, and be careful.
So if you say you're not a communist and you take these checks, not only are you a communist, but you're a hypocritical communist.